New this morning, a man hit and killed on the highway, the chain of events leading up to the deadly crash, and how a witness jumped into action to try and save his life.
And right now, the search is on for a man accused of trying to kidnap a young girl, how he snuck up on her, and the quick thinking that helped her get away.
Live from 2245 Corporate Place, this is ABC 22 Good Morning.
Hello and welcome to ABC 22 Good Morning. I'm Mike Colmeyer.
And I'm Megan Mongello. 6:30 is our time right now. We have your top stories coming up in moments. We also have a story about the Girl Scouts and their push to ban the word bossy. We'll tell you what that's all about coming up, too.
All right. Coming up right now, though, Chris Mulcahy, he's never bossy, at least not when he's got a forecast like he does today.
Yeah, no, well, I am going to be bossy more today. I was like, you better get outside.
You should. That is great advice because things are changing for the weekend for sure.
Yeah, you don't have to go outside. I'm really not a bossy person. We are right. But I highly recommend it because we are looking at plenty of sunshine. Yeah, you see all those clouds. Clouds, what are you doing over there? You're getting a little bit aggressive. I don't like you just peering off towards the west. But the good news is we got a high pressure system actually in place, which will protect us for the time being before those clouds will be here later on this evening. So this is what we got starting off the day. Most of the sunshine will be in the morning, opposite of what we saw yesterday. 53 degrees though with those clear skies, and we have 50s all over the place. Dare I even say the upper 40s right around Piqua and Urbana. So a chilly morning overall. So an extra layer I think is definitely going to be favorable. Later on this afternoon, remove the extra layer, just don't lose it. Mid to the upper 70s. I tend to do that. That's why I mentioned that. So upper 70s is what we got, close to 80 degrees, and we're gaining a few more clouds heading into the evening. The best thing about today, not that it's warmer, it's going to be comfortable. Remember how comfortable it was yesterday? Well, the day's even better. Light winds, sunshine, just a few more clouds. Enjoy your Friday, everyone. On-time traffic, let's get right down to it. Well, we got to wrap things up quick. So we got 75 at US 40. Everything's just fine. We got an accident further up the road. That was closed due to a rollover semi, but then things are improving. Weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
New this morning, a young man hit and killed on the highway. It happened last night on 675 just south of Spangler Road.
Right now, the driver who hit him is recovering at Soin Medical Center, and that's where we find our Amber Watson with more on this crash and how witness tried to save the victim. Amber?
Good morning, and right now troopers are still not going into details about the man's injuries here in the hospital, but we're told that he is expected to survive. Unfortunately, 21-year-old Che Dement was killed on the scene, and this is a look when we got there last night. Now, 2 trucks were involved in this crash on 675. The post commander with the Ohio State Highway Patrol tells us Dement was in the black Dodge Dakota truck heading south when he lost control. He hit the median and there was an explosion. His truck caught on fire from the impact. Now, he was able to escape just in time. After the crash, he ran into the middle of the highway, and troopers say a witness pulled over to help and warned Dement to get off the road, but he wouldn't move. That's when another truck passed by and Dement was hit and killed.
Obviously, where he crashed, you're right, there are some lights here, but right on top of the interstate 675 at 70, there's very little lighting, and it's obviously dark out. It's a black truck, so it'd probably be easy to miss.
So you heard there, the other driver may not have seen Dement or his truck. And this morning, investigators are working to see if either driver was impaired at the time of the crash. Now, investigators are still trying to work out the details to see if the other truck hit and killed Dement or if it was something else. But this morning, the Clark County coroner is working on the autopsy. And coming up in the next half hour, you will hear more from that witness and more what he tried to do to try to help that victim. For now, reporting live in Beaver Creek, Amber Watson, ABC 22 News.
Right now, police on the hunt for a man who abducted and tried to sexually assault a teenage girl. It happened earlier this month. Police say he grabbed the 15-year-old from behind as she walked down North Finley Street. He then carried her to his car and made her get inside. He drove to a location on Catalpa and Riverview, where police say he tried to force the teen to perform a sex act. When she refused, he punched her several times. That's when she was able to get away. People in the neighborhood are now worried for the safety of their kids.
It's awful. I mean, I have 5 girls. If something happened to my 5 girls, I think I would went to jail over my girls.
When I was younger, we didn't have to worry about this stuff. But here around this vicinity, yeah, my mom and sisters constantly watch out for the grandkids and our nieces and nephews that's out here, yeah.
A number of the residents we talked to say they got this flyer a couple of days ago. As soon as they saw it, they knew they'd seen him several times before. Police say he drives a Pontiac Grand Prix or a Bonneville. If you've seen him, you're asked to call police at 333-COPS.
Montgomery County homeowners, you'll soon be getting a letter about the value of your property, and it's probably going down. The county auditor just finished this year's reevaluations, and overall property assessments have dropped 4%. Now that's $1 billion loss. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley says it's because there are so many vacant houses around, and neighbors say that's not fair.
That's why everybody thinks Dayton is so bad, because nobody takes care of what they need to take care of.
But you don't have to accept that lower evaluation, especially if you're hoping to sell. Once you get the letter in the mail, make an appointment with the county to discuss the value of your home by calling the number right there on your screen.
Happening today, the Girl Scouts launching a campaign to ban the word bossy. Troop leaders want to challenge the girls and others to stop using the word. Instead, they want them to empower girls to pursue leadership roles. Here in the Miami Valley, Girl Scout representatives will meet with about 50 community members to talk about that campaign. Yes, there's a difference between being a go-getter and being bossy. So, kind of scaling back on using that probably would be a good idea.
Yeah, the premise here is there's been a negative connotation over the years with girls and the word bossy,
right.
and then that's not a good thing. They want to eliminate the two.
Right,
So,
I understand their plight there.
Yeah, all right. 6:36 is our time right now. Deadly storms, the damage in Virginia right now after a tornado ripped through the state, and what's being done to help people forced out of their homes.
And here's the Curious Friday question. We like to do just something random for this. When did hot chicken wings truly become a nationwide phenomenon? Is it A, the mid-'80s, B, the early 90s, or C, the late 90s? Coming up, I'll tell you why it was this time period, and B, also why I'm even mentioning this question right here on ABC 22. Good morning. And good day to you. Weather and traffic every 10 minutes. This is your dew point forecast. The mid-50s, that's where you want to be as far as comfort goes. That's where we were yesterday. Once you get above 65, boy, are you feeling it. That air that surrounds you, and the storms love this. So that's why it's going to be feeding our rain chances Saturday into Sunday. And then we're right back where we want to be, into the comfort zone Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. On-time traffic, I'm going to mention the one major accident that we have had so far this morning, and it's up the road. 75 is fine around Montgomery County. Montgomery County, you've been doing great. Not saying anything against you, Shelby County, but you did have a rollover semi. That was the worst thing that we saw. Now, there were a bunch of people gawking at this accident, so we saw a huge slowdown. But now we are heading into the time period where the semi has been removed. Still a little bit of congestion as they're doing the final cleanup, but it was closed due to an accident. Now it's back open. Again, that is going to be exit 90 where we had that rollover accident on I-75 southbound. Weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
Continuing coverage now of the latest Malaysia Airlines crash. Officials say the final remains recovered from flight MH17 are expected to arrive in the Netherlands by tomorrow. The first of the bodies were flown to the country on Wednesday. 298 people were on board the passenger jet when it was shot down more than a week ago.
The United Launch Alliance will try again today to send a Delta IV rocket into space. The mission at Cape Canaveral was canceled yesterday because of bad weather. Officials say the rocket will launch 3 U.S. Air Force satellites into orbit.
6:41 right now on this Friday morning. A deadly hospital shooting. How a doctor fought back when a man opened fire, and the search for a motive this morning.
And credit card scam, the sneaky way a man's accused of conning Apple out of $300,000, and how he pulled it off in 16 states.
And we're going to take a quick break now, so it's a good time to get yourself a cup of Tim Hortons coffee.
You're watching ABC 22 Good Morning, now live streaming on abc22now.com.
This is ABC 22 Good Morning with Mike Kallmeyer and Megan Mongello. Meteorologist Chris Mulcahy with your first warning weather, and Hillary Zala has your on-time traffic every 10 minutes. You're watching ABC 22 Good Morning.
Well, good morning to you. How are you doing today? Let's get to your Curious Friday question, which is just out of the norm. Why don't we talk about chicken wings? When did hot chicken wings truly become a nationwide phenomenon? Was it A, the mid-'80s, B, the early 90s, or C, the late 90s? Well, nowadays, about 12.5 million chicken wings that are consumed just on Super Bowl Sunday alone. But when did they really start taking fire? And no pun intended. Was it B, Yes, it was. The reason why was because the Buffalo Bills actually had back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. After that, it just spread across the nation, and it just really caught fire, as we said. But someone's mouth is going to be on fire later on. This is going to be on Fox 45 in the morning. Now, you can't vote yet, but a little bit later on, you can go on our Fox 45 Facebook page and vote for anyone you want. Now, I have no suggestions of who you should choose. Now, you could choose me, you could choose Mike, or I don't know, I have no other ideas. So make sure to vote on that a little bit later on. For your on-time traffic, let's get right down to it. On-time traffic, all right, sorry, I've got something in my throat, I don't know what that was. We are looking at 75 and US 40 right around Vandalia. Everything's just fine up and down along 75. Hey, we're good to go. Let's move on to the one accident. Rollover accident has actually been removed. Exit 90 is where we had that incident, but things are getting cleaned up. Really, it's just going to be the next 5 minutes. Everything will be clear. Speaking of that, weather and traffic's every 10 minutes.
All right, thank you, Chris. An investigation underway this morning to find out what led to a deadly hospital shooting in Pennsylvania. Authorities say a psychiatric patient was in a treatment room with his doctor and a caseworker when he opened fire. Now, the caseworker was killed, and the doctor fired back, shooting the suspect, Richard Plotz, 3 times. Another doctor and caseworker then tackled Plotz and held him until police arrived.
Without that firearm, this guy could have went out in the hallway and just walked down the offices until we ran out of ammunition. So without a doubt, I mean, I believe the doctor saved lives.
The doctor suffered minor injuries when police say Plotz returned fire. Now, the motive is still unclear this morning, and authorities are investigating to find out if any red flags were overlooked.
People in Virginia cleaning up this morning after deadly storms ripped through the state. This is video from Northampton County. 2 people are dead and 36 others injured. A tornado touched down at a Virginia campground. You can see the twister damaged trees, flipped trailers and cars. Heavy rain also washed out campgrounds, causing flooding in the area. And state officials opened an emergency shelter at a high school for the more than 1,300 people displaced by the storms. The governor of Virginia will visit the campground later on today. So out there on the East Coast dealing with severe weather, but the good news for today, at least, the weather here in the Miami Valley near perfect.
Yes, beautiful day for
Nothing hot about today.
Wing eating contest. Any suggestions on who our viewers should
So,
vote for?
okay, let's give them the backstory. What we're doing over on Fox 45 is you get to pick one of us. Who do you want to eat the hottest chicken wing? And we're going to have it up on Facebook, Fox 45. You can go and vote.
And again, I have no bias. Like, you can vote for anyone that you want. Really, just anyone.
The thing is that you would readily eat anything. and we just wanted to, you want to see her getting all sloppy with a big hot chicken wing,
I'm not
don't
saying
you?
for Megan. Like, that'd be ridiculous.
Get to your weather.
You can vote for anyone that you want.
Yeah.
Man, see, it's a subliminal message. Just say vote for me. Oh,
At
come
least
on.
you took a nice picture right there.
It's a very nice picture of you, Megan. So yeah, I wasn't gonna get one of these Slumdog Millionaire type of things. Don't worry, you got this. So yeah, doesn't she look so pretty? Especially if she eats those hot wings. Come on, vote for her. I'm not edging you, but vote for her. Okay, for your Kettering Health Network Sky Camera, getting right down to it. We actually have a serious forecast, so the fun, we're pushing it aside. Today is the fun in the sun. Plenty of sunshine. Cool, 53 degrees, calm winds below 10 miles per hour. Where you live, we got the mid-70s. Very comfortable, one heck of a day, if you might add. 76 in Rockford, 76 in Wapakoneta, 77 in Sydney, and in Dayton, upper 70s is what we got. Same thing goes for Centerville and in Xenia, looking fantastic, so make sure to get out and enjoy. Feeling like summer still, but it will have the summer mugginess returning very soon. So we got a lot of clouds that are further off towards the west. We are still waiting for those to arrive. It's later on tonight that we have our first rain chances. So we have a high pressure system protecting us for the time being, and a high pressure system is associated with sinking air. Those clouds and storms are produced by rising moist air. So this isn't essentially the cloud killer. So that's going to provide a lot more sunshine before it moves off towards the southeast. That's going to give great days down in Kentucky for the latter part of this evening, but it's going to suck in some more clouds, more rain chances once this front moves through, and then we have what's called a short wave. That's constant bursts of energy, and constant chances of rain is what you really need to know about. But the good news is, at least through late Saturday morning in the afternoon, we're going to remain dry, partly sunny skies, and then we have that front arriving. Now, it's a cold front that could give us a significant severe chance of either some flooding rains or some strong damaging winds along that frontal boundary heading into the the afternoon and also in the morning. Some flooding rains maybe when you're going to be heading to church. And let's rush along just to notice that we have the necessary fuel. When you have a dew point close to 70, that's going to be here 36 hours from now. First off, we lose the comfort, but then we also up those storm chances, and that's why we have a significant severe chance. Here on your Futurecast, well, you notice that nothing's happening for today. We have clear skies. Everything is well, but then further off towards the west, here comes a better chance. After midnight tonight, I would just be aware that you could have some passing showers, some passing storms, and many of us will remain dry, but they are going to be out there even into your Saturday morning. By about 10 o'clock and beyond, I think most of the rain is going to be done, even if you don't see any. Skies will start to open up a little bit, some breaks here and there during the afternoon. 5 o'clock, the clouds started to thicken up again, but it's not until about the late evening that we have to keep our eye to the sky. Now, of course, this can change. This is what we got right now. Rain starts to move in late evening, heading close to midnight, but then watch what happens into your Sunday morning. Whenever you have that dark purple on here, that is indicating that we have a large potential for some heavy downpours and some flooding rains. And it doesn't look like this is going to move all that quickly, especially the further south of I-70 you go. Possibility for heavy rains down to Cincinnati as well. And it looks like a secondary surge along that shortwave can blast in on your Sunday afternoon, giving us actually one flooding chance and then more of a severe chance in the afternoon. All just depends if we destabilize the atmosphere enough. Things are going to take a little bit to clear out on Monday, but the temperatures have no waste of time trying to cool down mid to the upper 70s for next week.
Thank you, Chris. Our time right now is 6:51. The Cincinnati Bengals back on the field. Training camp gets started. The sign of hope the team had on day one of practice and what Andy Dalton is saying about his contract.
Also, next credit card con, how a man tricked Apple out of $300,000 in 16 states.
You're watching ABC 22 Good Morning, now live streaming on abc22now.com.
Hello. One last look at your traffic report. Well, downtown, guys did good. This is a good way to start off your Friday. A minimal amount of accidents, even though we have had some incidents, and we currently do have one. 75 at Main Street. Don't worry about it. Vehicle is on fire. That's over at 3rd Street and Infirmary Road. That is a vehicle on fire. Again, 3rd Street and Infirmary Road. This is the final report of the day. But Monday through Friday, remember, we have your weather and traffic every 10 minutes.
New this morning, a deadly crash on 675 under investigation right now. This happened about 10:30 last night on 675 South, just south of Spangler Road.
A Fairmore man lost control of his truck and slammed into a median. And wait till you hear what happened next. Amber Watson is live at the medical center where one of the victims in this crash is being treated. Amber, how did this thing happen?
Well, right now, that man who is being treated, we're told, is expected to survive, but 21-year-old Shay DeMitt was killed on the scene, and troopers say that this fatality could have been prevented. Now, this is a look at that scene last night. 2 trucks were involved in this crash on 675, and the post commander with the Ohio State Highway Patrol tells us that DeMitt was in the black Dodge Dakota truck heading south when he lost control, and he hit the median. Then his truck caught on fire. Now, he was able to escape just in time, and after the crash, he ran into the middle of the highway, and troopers say a witness pulled over to help and warned DeMitt to get off the road, but he wouldn't move.
He couldn't explain it. He's yelling at him to get off the road, and the guy just looked at him. I don't know if he was in a daze or what.
Now, at the time, another driver in the truck was heading south on 675, and that's when DeMitt was hit and killed, and it happened so quickly. Investigators are not sure if that driver hit DeMitt with his truck or if the driver hit the other truck, pushing that into him. Now, this morning, investigators are working to see if either driver was impaired at the time of the crash. And right now, police, or troopers, that is, are not releasing the name of the man being treated here at the hospital. They're only saying that he is expected to survive. And coming up over on Fox 45, I'll explain why troopers say that other driver may not have seen DeMitt in the middle of the road. For now, reporting live in Beaver Creek, Amber Watson, ABC 22 News.
Continuing coverage right now of the violence in the Middle East. Overnight, Israeli airstrikes continued to hit Gaza as Palestinian health officials updated the death toll now to 808. 115 Palestinians were killed yesterday in one of the bloodiest days in more than 2 weeks of fighting. 34 Israelis, including 32 soldiers and a Thai worker, have also been killed. Also yesterday, a school being used as a shelter for Palestinians who had to flee their homes was hit. At least 16 people were killed and others were injured.
Tech giant Apple has lost more than $250,000 following a scam using bogus over-the-counter codes for debit cards. The Secret Service says 24-year-old Sharon Parrish is responsible for the wire fraud. Investigators believe he fooled Apple stores in 16 states by using a card he knew would be declined. He then allegedly pretended to call the bank, then gave the Apple store clerk a fake override code. Officials say it worked 42 times on more than $300,000 worth of merchandise. The Cincinnati Bengals are back on the field.
Yeah, the team continues training camp later today at 3 o'clock. Perhaps the best news for the Bengals on day one. Quarterback Leon Hall is back and seems to be in good shape. Hall's coming off his second ruptured Achilles in the past 3 years. And with camp now open, Andy Dalton answered plenty of questions about his contract, saying it meant a lot to hear President Mike Brown's public comments about wanting him to stay. Today's practice is open to fans with the gates opening at 2:30, and that, as always, is free, right?
That's right. And Dalton actually did pretty well. Completed, I think, 2 really long passes, a couple short ones, but it's the first day of preseason training camp. We can't get ahead of ourselves.
We need him to do that in the playoffs.
I know, but, you know, it looking good so far.
Ready for football. All right. Be sure to join us over on our sister station, Fox 45, from 7 to 9 this morning. Here's what we have coming up. A family wins the lottery, the tradition that helped them become multimillionaires, and why the money is coming at the perfect time.
Y'all gonna make me lose my mind up in here, up in here.
Up next, bringing country and hip hop together, we have a comedian in the studio, and he'll give us his own spin on hip hop.
This is going to be good. It's also Friday, which means we're partying on the patio. Wing Zone is here to show us how to make wings at home, especially the hot ones, Chris.
Oh, we like the hot ones. Megan loves the hottest wings possible, I'm just saying. The upper 70s, a beautiful day, a few more clouds later on in the day. This morning is just divine. It's going to be fantastic. A little bit cool, so you might need a sweatshirt in the next couple of hours, but then the mid-80s tomorrow. Just letting you know we have a slight risk for severe weather both Saturday and Sunday. Keep a watchful eye to the sky. Flooding concerns on Sunday morning and beyond. Definitely stay with your first warning weather team, but hey, next week, at least things are cooler, back in the mid to the upper 70s, and no storm chances at least till the following Friday.
And real quick, a wing contest over on Fox 45. You get to vote which one of us eats a blazing hot wing. So
not me, hopefully.
Vote for anyone you like. We'll see you over there on Fox 45.